Hi, welcome back to the channel. I'm Michelle, and today I want to talk with you guys about what I am currently reading and what I'm currently reading to my kids. So every month we focus on a specific social justice theme and we read books about that theme. And I got this idea from the subscription box I get called Little Justice Leaders, and I have a bunch of unboxing videos of the different things, but it's pretty much just a social justice theme subscription box aimed at children. And like I said, there's a theme every single month. So for June, the theme specifically was pronouns, but more largely it's Pride Month because it's June, so LGBTQ Pride. So that was the theme, and with every box there is a book list that you get for both kids and adults. A lot of the kids' books are picture books, things like that, and then the adult books are things that would help you understand the theme more. So I took the list and I went to my local library, and all of my books I'm going to talk about are from the library except one which I did purchase myself. So why do I think it's important to talk about these issues? I think if the last couple of years have taught us anything, is that there's a lot wrong with the world. There's a lot of hate. And the sad thing about that is hate is something that's taught. You're not born hating someone because of the color of the skin or what gender they are or who they love. That's something that's taught. So I think it's very important, especially as parents, that we bring up these topics and we explain to our children what's going on, in an age-appropriate way, which is what this subscription box really does help facilitate. But nothing's going to change until we make that change happen. So I think by educating my children on these issues, exposing them to things that are unjust, can help lead to change in those things. I think it's our responsibility. If we want things to get better, if we want future generations to have a better future, then we have to do something. So, like I said, every month we focus on a specific theme, and this month was pronouns, LGBTQ Pride. So I'll start with my stack. So my first one is, Beyond the Binary, Beyond the Gender Binary. And it's a small book. You can see it's pretty small. It's not even a full-size book. What I really like about this is it talks about what gender binary is, which is first a cultural belief that there's only two opposite genders, male and female, and there's a lot more gender, fluidity out there. And it talks about why it's important that we address these gender issues. And it has a lot of assumptions that people have about gender or gender issues, which I think is really nice that it goes over. Like, the book starts talking about the author's experience growing up a boy and wearing girls' clothes and what that was like. But it does go into the assumptions people have. So for example, it's common sense to everyone as a man or a woman. And the author goes into correcting that assumption. Using pronouns isn't grammatically correct, so using plural pronouns instead of he or she. People are only doing it for attention, different things like that. So it goes through the book telling you these assumptions and why those assumptions are wrong, which is really nice. And there's one specific thing that I wanted to point out that I found really inspiring. So it talks about how when you come from a place of fear, it leads us to make harmful assumptions about one another. In our fear, we treat other people's identities as if they are something that they are doing to us and not something that just exists. The world we want is one in which all people, regardless of their appearances, are treated with dignity and respect. We want a world that acknowledges and appreciates the complexity of everyone and everything, in which transformation is celebrated and not repressed. We want a world where people have an underlying worth regardless of their gender. So I think that just really sums up this book. It's an awesome resource, quick read. Next is a quick and easy guide to they and them pronouns. So again, this is a smaller book, it's not a full-size book. And what I like about this one is it's actually written in comic book form, and this is again aimed for adults. So it pretty much tells you what pronouns are, why they matter, how to use them, how to approach people about them, if you make a mistake, how to correct yourself. So I think it's, again, a very good resource for adults. Next is Gender Your Guide. So I'm not a big fiction reader, I prefer nonfiction, so these books are all up my alley. So this goes into pretty much, what gender is. Gender in everyday life, so how it impacts our everyday life. It goes into the science of gender. It talks obviously about the transgender spectrum. There are different little things throughout the book which I really like about questions you might have. So example, are you allowed to say queer? What does cisgender mean? And there's even in the back a glossary of terms that help you understand things. Like, I am a full supporter of the LGBTQ community. I have family and friends who are part of that community, but I don't know everything about that community, and I can benefit from learning more. So again, these are different definitions you might not understand, such as what is non-binary, what is cisgender, difference between gender expression and gender identity, so different things like that. I found it a really good read. Now this one is not a nonfiction book, this is a fiction book. So it is written by Lori Frankel. It's not a true story. She is a person that has a transgender child, so I'm sure she pulled some elements of her book from her real life experiences, but it's a pretty thick book. I read it in 2 days. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. And the premise of the book is about a family. They have 5 sons, and their youngest son, when they're 5 years old, goes to his parents and says, I don't feel like I'm a boy, I feel like I'm a girl. And the majority of the book is their journey through this, about what they do, how they handle things, what it looks like to have a transgender child, the obstacles they face, the hardships they face, how the siblings interact with each other and react to things, whether or not to keep it a secret from people or tell people the truth. So I found it really a good read, especially from a parental perspective. I've always had thought my children could be part of this community, and it doesn't bother me if they are. I love them for who they are, and I think all parents should love their kids for who they are. I know not everyone has that benefit, and that truly breaks my heart. But this book really gives you the perspective of, like I said, I wouldn't have a problem with my children being part of that community, but I haven't really thought past that. I don't think about the everyday hardships that would entail. And the author talks about, as a parent, it's difficult to send your children out into the world, knowing what the world is, knowing that they, no matter what, may not be accepted for who they are. It doesn't matter if they're gay, straight, what ethnic group they are, they may not be accepted for who they are, and that is extremely difficult as a parent. And to take that to another level, that your child wouldn't be accepted just because of how they feel they are, who they truly are, it's heartbreaking. And the only way we're gonna make this world better is by understanding things and making it better, choosing to make it better. So again, I think it's a wonderful read. It's a longer book, but I think it has to be in order for you to really get involved with the characters, really feel what they're feeling, and really understand what's going through. So, highly recommend that. My last one is a book my husband actually recommended. He's a pastor. It's called Pastoral Care of Gays, Lesbians, and Their Families. Now, this is an older resource. It was written in 1999, so it is a bit dated, but it does have some good parts of it. It's written from the perspective of a pastor or a professor of pastoral care. It's a real book, and it's his conversations he had with his members, his congregational members, and pastoral counseling he had over the years dealing with these different groups and their families, and how best to care for these people. And I think it's really important, especially as a person who comes from a faith background, how I can better approach these people and be supportive, because I feel like, especially in the faith community, LGBTQ is definitely something difficult for a lot of people to accept. And finding ways that I can use my faith to better help those people, I think, is a wonderful idea, to be more inviting, especially in church life, things that I can help. So I highly recommend that one as well. Now let's go into the kids' books. So my first one is Rainbow Revolutionaries, 50 LGBTQ people who made history. So I think this is a wonderful resource. It goes into different people, and it ranges from inventors, scientists, athletes, all different types of people who have helped change the world or the LGBT community. It goes into, which I really think is nice, the birthplace of the Rainbow Revolutionary, so it has every single person where they were born. It goes into why they think this is important, how there should be representation of these people for kids and adults to read and know about. And then it will go through specific people, and again, it's only 1 page long for each person, so it's just a short little biography and how they helped impact things. What I really like is in the back, there's also a glossary of terms, just like the other book. So things you can talk to your kids about, words you might come across in some of the books that they might not know. Goes over the pride flags. And it goes over the symbols, which I think is really nice. So this is an excellent resource. I highly recommend that. Some of the kids' books we did were Morris Micklewhite and the Tangerine Dress. It's about a little boy who likes to wear an orange dress. And it goes into why he likes to wear this orange dress. And of course, some of the kids laugh and make fun of him and how that makes him feel. And in the end, the kids realize that it doesn't matter what his friend is wearing, that he's still the same person, the friend they like, he's funny and he's good at games. One point I wanted to do is he makes a picture of himself in the book. And I thought this was very interesting, because as his mom notices how he portrays himself, this is how he sees himself, which I think is very important. He sees himself as a girl in a tangerine dress. So that was a good book, and I think my kids, again, if I didn't mention, I have an 8-year-old, 4-year-old, and 1-year-old, should be exposed to different family types. This is Daddy and Dada, so a story about a family where there's 2 dads. And I know books are getting better with having books with grandparents who are the caregivers or maybe step-parents, but I think we definitely need more representation of this type too for kids. So that's an excellent book. Pink is for boys. I like this because it talks about how gender doesn't really have a color. Girls don't need to wear pink, boys don't need to wear blue. Color is for everyone no matter what. So I think that's an awesome resource. A House for Everyone. This goes into a story about kids who are building a fort. They call it a house. And each kid is a little bit different. They like different things, they wear different things. They all are unique to themselves, and it celebrates that. And their house is a place where everybody can come and be who they are. Next is When Aiden Became a Brother. So this is about a girl who was born and did not feel like a girl. She felt like she identified as a boy. And she tells her parents, and her parents support her in this. And then one day she finds out her mom's gonna have a baby, and she's concerned that the baby will have the difficulties that the little girl had when she became a boy, that people are too concerned with what gender the baby is, and what if the baby doesn't like this, and what doesn't the baby like that. So it's really a nice story about acceptance and love and understanding. Next is Benny's True Colors. This is a book about a bat who identifies as a caterpillar. So although he's a bat, he feels like he's a butterfly on the inside. So he tells his bat family, and they support him in becoming a butterfly. So he talks to all his butterfly friends, and he finds his butterfly community, and he explains how he's feeling, and with the support of his family, he transforms into a butterfly. So he has the caterpillars help him make a cocoon, and he transforms into a beautiful butterfly. And his bat family loves him no matter what. Next is My Rainbow. And this is about a transgender child who wants long hair, because to this child, long hair signifies being a girl. This is her with her dolly, and she's upset that she doesn't have long hair. So the mother tries to figure out a way to get her long hair. So she makes a wig for her and transforms it into rainbow hair. So a cute little story. Last one is Julian is a Mermaid. This is about a little boy who's on the subway with his grandmother, and on the subway he sees mermaids. And he fantasizes about being a mermaid and what it would be like. Beautiful illustrations. He goes home and his grandmother says she's gonna go take a bath. So what does he do? But he starts dressing up like a mermaid. And the grandmother comes out, and the little boy thinks, he's gonna be in trouble for what he's doing. And instead, the grandmother disappears for a minute, and she comes back with a necklace for his outfit. And then after she gives him the necklace, she takes him somewhere. So he asks, where are we going? And they walk, and then she takes him to a parade to join the other mermaids, because he can be a mermaid too. So I think it's a wonderful story of acceptance again. Wonderful themes to be teaching our children. So that is what we will be reading for the month of June. We've made it about halfway through, so we still have the other half to go through. But I appreciate everyone watching. If you have any questions, please leave them below. Thanks.